The wrench slipped from his greasy hand and clattered to the tarmac. But Daniel barely noticed. He was too busy staring at the gleaming jet before him, its silver fuselage shimmering in the late afternoon sun. It didn't belong here, not at this rundown regional airport, not anywhere near a man like him. Yet here it was, and here she was, pacing near the hangar doors, her phone pressed to her ear, her expression sharp enough to cut through steel. Daniel had been a mechanic for 15 years, though the last few had felt more like a battle than a job. Between his wife's cancer bills and keeping a roof over his son's head, he'd aged fast. The shop he worked at was failing, just like everything else. But jets? That was a whole different world. He worked on pickup trucks and tractors, not luxury aircraft. Still, the woman, Claire Donovan, CEO of Donovan Aerospace, had walked straight into the shop and demanded, "I need the best mechanic you've got." My jet broke down mid-flight. Nobody else can fix it in time. The shop owner had laughed, then pointed at Daniel. So here he was, his coveralls smeared with oil, staring at a machine worth more than his entire town. Claire finally snapped her phone shut and stalked over to him. "How long is it going to take?" she demanded. Daniel squatted, ducked under the wing, and ran his hands over the panels, listening, feeling. "Depends what's wrong. You said it wouldn't start after landing?" "Yes," she said tightly. "And if I don't get to New York by morning, this deal falls apart. Hundreds of jobs on the line." Her voice cracked just slightly on that last word. Daniel heard it. He didn't say anything, just nodded and got to work. It was a mess. Whoever had maintained this thing last didn't know what they were doing. A cracked fuel line, electrical shorts, and a hydraulic leak. He worked silently as dusk fell, his hands steady even as his mind screamed at him to stop, that this was above his pay grade. That one wrong move could ruin both of them. Claire didn't leave. She sat on an old crate nearby, watching him, her face a mask of impatience and something else, something like fear. When he glanced at her, her expensive suit was streaked with dust, her heels discarded. In another world, she might have looked vulnerable. "Why don't you go inside?" he muttered. "I can't," she said simply. So they stayed like that, two strangers thrown together in a fading light. At one point, his phone buzzed. A message from his son. "Good luck today, Dad. Love you." Daniel swallowed hard and slid the phone back into his pocket. When he finally found the cracked line deep in the belly of the jet, he let out a low whistle. "Found your problem," he called. She was beside him in a flash. "Can you fix it?" "I can try." It took everything he had, jury-rigging parts, welding, testing. Hours passed. His hands bled. The hangar lights buzzed overhead as midnight rolled around. And then, finally, the engine roared to life.